Hi, I am Shyamala, Assistant Professor of Mathematics in Nalla Narasimha Reddy Education Society's group of institutions. This video is on the subject Computer Oriented Statistical Methods, which is in the second year, first semester. And in this unit 1 is probability, and first topic is basic definitions. First, we discuss about the probability importance in our daily life. The theory of probability is one of the most useful and interesting branches of modern mathematics. It is becoming prominent by its application in many fields of learning such as insurance, statistics, biological sciences, physical sciences, engineering, etc. And also recently it is useful in deep learning and machine learning also. And in statistics this probability is very useful, and where we are not using statistics, that we have to see. We use statistics everywhere in our daily life. So probability is a very important subject in our daily life. If an experiment is repeated under similar and homogeneous conditions, we generally come across two types of situations. The net result, what is generally known as outcome, is unique or certain. The net result is not unique but may be one of the several possible outcomes. So when we toss a coin, suppose, we don't know whether we get head or tail. Okay, so in that case the result is not unique. Suppose an intelligent boy writes an exam, so he will say that he will definitely pass the exam. That is a certain thing. The situations covered by one are known as deterministic or predictable situations, and the situations two are covered are known as probabilistic or unpredictable. Deterministic means the result can be predicted with certainty. For example, if r is the radius of the sphere, then its volume is given by v equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube. In this case, if you know the r, you will know the volume. So there is no uncertainty here. So these are called as deterministic approaches, which gives uniquely the volume of the sphere. There are some situations which do not lend themselves to the deterministic approach, and they are known as probabilistic. For example, by looking at the sky, one is not sure whether the rain comes or not. In such cases, we talk of chances or probability, which can be taken as a quantitative measure of certainty. We will now introduce the concept of probability with definitions. First, I discuss about a random experiment. If an experiment is conducted any number of times under essentially identical conditions, there is a set of all possible outcomes associated with it. If the result is not certain and is any one of the several possible outcomes, the experiment is called a random trial or random experiment. Suppose we take a coin. If we are tossing the coin for so many number of times also, we don't know whether we get head or tail. So, the all possible outcomes are head and tail only. So from these two situations only we will get one outcome, either head or tail. That kind of experiments are called as random experiments. The outcomes are known as elementary events, and set of outcomes is an event. Or probabilistic situation is referred to as random experiment. Suppose we take a die. If we throw a die, then we may get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are all called outcomes. Now this set of outcomes is called as an event. Like suppose if we want to get an even number, when you throw a die, if we want to get an even number, then the outcomes are 2, 4, 6. This kind of 2, 4, 6 set is called as event, and the experiment is called as random experiment. Now we discuss about what is a trial and event. Consider an experiment which, though repeated under essential and identical conditions, does not give a unique result but may result in any one of the several possible outcomes. The experiment is known as trial and the outcome is called event. So as we discussed just now, if we throw a die, Throwing a die is a trial and outcome is called the event. What is the outcome means we may get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. So throwing a die is experiment. Getting the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are events. Likewise, tossing a coin experiment and getting head or tail is the event. Now outcome. The result of a trial in a random experiment is called an outcome. So as we discussed in the throwing die experiment, the results can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are all the, so 1 is called one outcome, 2 is called another outcome, like that. So the result of a trial in a random experiment is called outcome. Now we discuss about sample space. A set of all possible outcomes of an experiment is called a sample space. So we will see the example. In tossing two coins, already I discussed, in tossing one coin the results can be head, tail. So the set contains h comma t, that set is called as sample space. In this case, in this example, in throwing two coins or one coin two times, both are equal. The possible outcomes are both we can get heads, one head, one tail, or one tail, one head, or both tails. So this is sample space. In tossing three coins or one coin three times, sample space s equal to, we can get three heads, otherwise HTT, THT, TTH. That means in these three cases, tails are occurring two times. The other three cases, HHT, HTH, THH, we get heads as two times or tail as one time. And last one is TTT, all three tails. Note, if a coin is tossed n times or n coins tossed at a time, the sample space consists of 2 power n elements. So in this case 2 power 2, that is 4. In this case 2 power 3, that is 8. So if we are tossing n times a coin, then we will get the sample space, we will get 2 power n elements in its sample space. Now another example, in throwing a die two times or two dice at a time, the sample space consists of 36 elements, 6 power 2. So the sample space contains, see, on one die you can get 1, on the another die also we get 1. So that is one outcome. On the first die we will get 1 only, on the second die 2. Again first die 1 only, second die 3. Like that 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6. Now say 2 on the first die. On the second die 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that 6 on the first die, 1 on the second die. 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, 6. This is the sample space when we throw two dice at a time or one die two times. Now we discuss about another definition, favorable event. The number of cases favorable to an event in a trial is the number of outcomes which entities the happening of the event. Suppose if we are taking a card from a pack of 52 cards, then favorable cases in drawing a queen is 4. So in a pack of 52 cards we will have 4 queens or 4 symbols. So how many number of ways we will get the queen means 4 cases we have. So the favorable cases in this event is 4. In drawing a card is, red card is 26. See, there are 26 red cards and 26 black cards in a pack of 52 cards. So in drawing a red card, the favorable cases are 26. In throwing two dice, the number of cases favorable in getting a sum 7 is 6. If we go back to the previous example, in this case, getting a sum 7 means this is the case 1, 6 and 6, 1. Next 3, 4, 4, 3. Again 5, 2, 2, 5. Like that the favorable cases are 6. Next, mutually exclusive event. If two or more of them cannot happen simultaneously in the same trial, then the event are called as mutually exclusive event. Suppose in throwing a dice experiment, events 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are mutually exclusive events. So when we throw a die, we can get only 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. But we will not get 1, 2 at the same time. Next, in tossing a coin, the events head turning up and tail turning up are mutually exclusive. We will get only one, not two at a time. In tossing two coins, the event two heads turning up, one head turning up, no head turning up are all mutually exclusive events. In throwing two dice, getting a sum 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on 12 are all mutually exclusive events. Next, equally likely events. Outcomes of events are said to be equally likely if there is no reason for one to be preferred over the other. So all will have equal chance. Such kind of events are called as equally likely events. If we toss a coin, then getting head or tail has equal chances, and chance of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in throwing a die are all equally likely chances or equally likely events. When a card is drawn from a pack, any card may be obtained. In this trial, all 52 elementary events are equally likely. Next, exhaustive events. The total number of possible outcomes in any trial is called exhaustive event. So, suppose if we are performed an experiment, then what are the total number of possible outcomes? That is called as exhaustive event. Suppose if we are tossing two coins, then there are four possibilities that we get. Such things are called as exhaustive events. In tossing of a coin experiment, there are two exhaustive events, that is head tail. In throwing an n dice experiment, there are 6 power n exhaustive events. In drawing 3 balls out of 9 balls in a box, there are 9C3 exhaustive elementary events. So we have a box, in that we have 9 balls. When we want to take 3 balls out of that 9 balls, there are 9C3 exhaustive ways. So these are called as exhaustive elementary events. Now we are going to discuss the definition of probability. If a trial results in n exhaustive mutually exclusive and equally likely cases and m of them favorable to the happening of an event E, then the probability of an event E is denoted by P of E and is defined as P of E equal to number of favorable cases to an event by total number of exhaustive cases equal to m by n. Suppose if we are taking an example of tossing two coins at a time. In that case, the total number of exhaustive cases are 4. H, HT, TH, TT. So, the total number of exhaustive cases are 4, that means n is equal to 4. Now, if we consider the event as getting 2 heads, then the event is of getting 2 heads. In that case, how many times we will get 2 heads means only one time. So, m value is 1. 1 by 4 will be the probability of getting 2 heads in tossing 2 coins at a time. Next, that is about P of E. Now, this is about P of E complement. P of E means occurrence of the event E. P of E complement is non-occurrence of E. It is 1 minus m by n, which is 1 minus m by n means P by E. P of E plus P of E complement is 1. Independent event. Several events are said to be independent if the happening or the non-happening of the event is not affected by the concerning of the occurrence of any one of the remaining events. An event that always happens is called certain event. It is denoted by S. An event that never happens is called impossible event. It is denoted by phi. In tossing a coin and throwing a die, getting head or tail are independent events. And in throwing a die, getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are all independent events. So, in tossing a coin, head does not affect the tail. Tail does not affect the head. So, these are the independent events. Counting. Next definition, counting. Sometimes it is difficult to determine the number of elements in a sample space by direct enumeration. Suppose if we are taking a pack of 52 cards, from that if you want to take some cards like 4 or 5, then we can say that it is 52 C5 ways are there to take a card. And if we have already seen the sample space contains 4 elements when we toss a coin 2 times, or when you throw a die, sample space contains 6 elements. But sometimes it is not easy to enumerate the outcomes in the sample space. In that case, we can use tree diagram. Tree diagram definition. A tree diagram is a device used to enumerate all possible outcomes of sequences of experiments, where each experiment can occur in a finite number of ways. The tree is constructed from left to right, and the number of branches at each point correspond to the number of possible outcomes of the next experiment. Multiplication of choices. In the tree diagram, how do we calculate the number of ways? That we see here. First we see the definition. If a1, a2, an are sets contain i1, i2 and so on in elements respectively, then there are i1 into i2 into and so on in ways of choosing first an element a1 and then element of a2 and an element of an. Suppose a1 contains 4 elements, a2 2 elements, a3 3 elements. We can select 4 into 2 into 3 means 24 different ways by selecting one element from each set. Now we discuss about permutation and combination. In these chapters we are going to use combinations especially. That is why I am going to discuss about the definitions of permutations and combinations. If R objects are chosen from a set of n objects, any particular arrangement, in this case we have to arrange first and then we have to take the objects. So that is the difference between permutation and combination. In permutation we are going to arrange the objects first, or order of these objects is called permutation. The number of permutations of R objects selected from a set of n objects is npr equal to n factorial by n minus r factorial. Combinations. To find the number of ways in which R objects can be selected from a set of n objects is called the number of combinations. In this case, we need not arrange anything. So that is the difference between combinations and permutations. The number of ways in which R objects can be selected from a set of n objects is NCR equal to n factorial by n minus r factorial into r factorial. So in this video we have discussed all basic definitions of probability. In the next video we are going to discuss about the basic problems on probability. Thank you for listening my video.